Welcome to the Soul Dark Romance Stories. I am sitting in a wheelchair at my own wife's wedding, and I am the only one who knows she already buried me alive. The ocean stretches endlessly around this private island, blue and perfect, like nothing bad has ever touched it. White flowers line the aisle. Crystal chandeliers hang from a glass pavilion built just for tonight. Every detail screams perfection, wealth, control. Guests arrive in tailored suits and designer gowns, their laughter soft, calculated, expensive. They think they are here to witness love. They are wrong. This is a transaction, a transfer, a disappearance, and I am the man being erased. 3 months ago, I was the one who controlled everything. Financial networks across continents. Offshore structures layered so deep no one could trace them. Then came the accident. A brake failure on a mountain road. The car flipped twice before it stopped. I remember the sound more than the pain. Metal collapsing. Glass shattering. My body refusing to move. When I woke up, I could not feel my legs. The doctors called it severe spinal trauma. A miracle I survived. I called it something else. Timing. Too precise to be random. Too convenient for her. Now she stands at the center of it all, dressed in white, radiant, untouchable. My wife. Not for long. She moves through the guests with effortless grace, her smile flawless, her voice warm, her presence absolute. No one questions her. Why would they? She is about to marry a man worth twice what I built. A financial titan with connections that stretch into places most people never hear about. Together, they will legitimize everything. Every hidden account. Every shadow transaction. This wedding is the final step. After tonight, my name becomes irrelevant. A footnote. A ghost attached to assets that no longer belong to me. They insisted I attend. Said it would look better. The devoted husband. The tragic survivor giving his blessing. I sit near the front, positioned perfectly for the cameras, close enough to be seen, far enough to be ignored. I feel the weight of every glance that avoids me. I am no longer a man in this room. I am a symbol. A finished chapter. Behind me stands the woman they hired to take care of me. Officially, she is the wedding planner. Unofficially, she is my caregiver. She moves differently from everyone else here. Less performance, more awareness. Her eyes scan the crowd, not with admiration, but with calculation. She notices things others miss. The guest list, the seating arrangement, the timing of arrivals. I saw it yesterday when she reviewed the names. Bankers from jurisdictions known for secrecy. Lawyers who specialize in identity restructuring. Representatives from companies that do not exist on paper. This is not a wedding guest list. This is a network. I shift slightly in my chair, the movement small but deliberate. My body betrays me, but my mind does not. I follow her gaze as it lands on a cluster of men near the bar. They are not celebrating. They are waiting, watching, like this entire event is something more than a ceremony. She steps closer to me, adjusting the blanket over my legs, her voice barely above a whisper. Something is wrong, she says. I let the words settle, cold and familiar. Then I look at the altar, at the woman who once stood beside me, and I realize the truth is worse than I imagined. This is not just a wedding. This is my execution. The moment she says something is wrong, I know I am not imagining it anymore. I keep my eyes on the ceremony setup, but my attention shifts entirely to her. Tell me, I say quietly. My voice stays calm, controlled, like this is just another detail in a routine event. It is not. She does not answer immediately. Instead, she moves behind me, adjusting my chair slightly so it faces the aisle at a better angle, playing her role perfectly. To everyone else, she is just a planner fixing logistics. To me, she is mapping a battlefield. This guest list, she finally says under her breath, it does not match a wedding. It matches a transaction network. I let the words sit for a second. I already suspected it, but hearing it confirmed sharpens everything. Explain, I say. She steps closer, her hand resting briefly on the back of my chair, steady, deliberate. There are no real friends here, she continues. No family, no history. Only facilitators. Offshore bankers, corporate lawyers, shell company directors. People who specialize in moving identities, not celebrating them. I scan the crowd again, but now I see it differently. The smiles look rehearsed. The conversations feel measured. No one laughs too loud. No one relaxes. They are not here to celebrate. They are here to witness something official, something binding. And the schedule, she adds. It is wrong. I glance at her reflection in the glass beside us. Wrong how? She exhales slowly. The ceremony is not the focus. The timing revolves around document exchanges, signing windows, transfer points. Even the vows are positioned between legal confirmations. A cold realization begins to form, piece by piece. This is not a wedding, I say quietly. She nods once. It is a transaction. The same words she used before, but now they carry weight. Structure. Proof. I feel something tighten in my chest, not panic, not fear, but clarity cutting through denial. I built systems like this. I know how they work. You hide movement inside something emotional, something no one questions. A wedding is perfect, public, symbolic, legally binding, invisible under tradition. What are they moving? I ask. She does not hesitate this time. Everything, she says. Assets, ownership, identity. They are merging financial structures through marriage. Clean accounts absorb dirty ones. Legal status resets liability. After tonight, nothing can be traced back the same way. I close my eyes for a brief second, then open them again, forcing myself to stay present. And me, I ask. Where do I fit into this? She reaches forward, pulling up a tablet she has been carrying all day. I did not even notice it before. That alone tells me how careful she is. She taps the screen, bringing up a document layered under wedding logistics. Not obvious. Hidden behind event planning files. Here, she says, angling it so only I can see. I focus, ignoring the blur in my vision for a moment as the text sharpens. My name, my signature, authorization codes tied to asset transfers. I did not sign this, I say, my voice lower now. No, she replies, but it looks like you did. The document outlines a voluntary transfer of control. My holdings, my accounts, my structures. Everything moved under a new joint entity created through marriage. My marriage. Her marriage. The one happening in front of me. They are using you as a bridge, she says quietly. Once the transfer completes, you are no longer necessary. The words hit harder than anything she has said so far. Not because they are cruel, but because they are precise, efficient, final. I stare at the screen, at the version of myself they created. A man who willingly gave everything away. A man who agreed to disappear. This is identity laundering, I say slowly. Not just money. She nods. Yes, they are not just cleaning assets. They are rewriting ownership history, making it legal, permanent. I let out a slow breath, feeling something inside me shift. The pain is still there. The betrayal runs deep. But above it, something else rises. Focus. Calculation. The same instinct that built everything they are trying to steal. How far does it go? I ask. She scrolls further, her expression tightening slightly. Global, she says. Multiple jurisdictions. Once this completes, it locks across systems. No reversal without exposure. Exposure. The word lingers. Dangerous. Powerful. I look back at the altar, at the woman in white laughing softly with her future husband, and for the first time, I do not see her as someone I lost. I see her as someone who made a mistake. She thinks I am already gone, I say. The caregiver follows my gaze. She planned it that way. I shift slightly in my chair, ignoring the dull resistance in my body. And you? I ask, turning my attention back to her. Why are you telling me this? She meets my eyes directly, no hesitation now. Because I have seen this before, she says. Different place. Same structure. People disappear on paper before they disappear in real life. The air between us changes. Not trust. Not yet. But alignment. Purpose. I nod once, slow and deliberate. Can you access the system behind this? I ask. She shakes her head slightly. Not fully. I can see fragments. Not control. I look down at my hands resting on the armrests of the chair. Weak. Limited. But not useless. They used my identity to build this, I say. That means somewhere my access still exists. She tilts her head slightly, considering that. Hidden credentials, she says. Fallback systems. Exactly. I look back at her, and this time, there is no hesitation in my voice. They built this using me. That is where we start. She studies me for a moment, then gives a small nod. Agreement. Decision made. Around us, the wedding continues to unfold. Music begins to rise. Guests take their seats. The illusion strengthens with every passing second. But now I can see through it. Every smile, every movement, every carefully timed step leading toward a moment that was designed to erase me completely. I lean back slightly, my expression calm, almost detached. Inside, everything is moving fast, precise, controlled. They think this is the end, I say quietly. The caregiver's voice is just as steady. Then we change the ending. I do not confront her immediately. Not here. Not yet. The ceremony has not started, and already I can feel the structure tightening around me, every second pulling closer to the moment where I disappear on paper forever. I wait until the final preparations begin, when the guests are distracted, when the illusion becomes too polished to question. She steps away from the crowd, moving toward the private lounge behind the pavilion, her future husband following close behind. I signal the caregiver with the smallest movement of my hand. She understands instantly. Within seconds, she is pushing my chair forward, silent, precise, like this was always part of the plan. The doors close behind us, sealing off the noise of the wedding. Inside, the air is cooler, quieter, controlled. She turns when she hears the sound of the chair, her expression shifting from mild irritation to something sharper when she realizes I followed her here. "You should not be here," she says, her voice calm but edged. The man beside her frowns, already annoyed, already dismissive. "Is this necessary?" he mutters. I ignore him. He is not the architect. He is the beneficiary. "I saw the documents," I say. No build-up. No hesitation. Her eyes lock onto mine, searching, calculating. For a moment, she says nothing. Then slowly she smiles. Not surprised. Not even defensive. Just finished pretending. "Then you understand," she replies. "I understand that you forged my consent," I say. My voice stays level, but every word lands with weight. "That you used my name to transfer everything I built into a structure that erases me." The man shifts beside her, his patience thinning. "If this is about compensation, we can discuss it later," he says, his tone dismissive. I turn my head slightly, just enough to acknowledge him. "You are not part of this conversation," I say. She lifts a hand, silencing him again. Control. Always control. Then she steps closer to me, her expression softening in a way that might fool anyone else. "Not me. You always saw things in terms of ownership," she says. "Control. Systems. But you never understood leverage." I hold her gaze. "Explain it to me," I say. "You were never the end goal," she replies. "You were the bridge." The words land exactly as I expected, but hearing them out loud strips away the last layer of doubt. "Your networks, your structures, your reputation, they made everything possible. But you stopped growing. You became cautious, predictable." She tilts her head slightly, studying me like I am a problem she already solved. "That is when you became replaceable." "And the accident?" I say quietly. She does not hesitate. "Necessary," she answers. The room feels smaller for a moment, the silence pressing in from all sides. I feel the echo of metal, of impact, of everything that took my body and turned it into something unreliable. But the anger does not explode. It sharpens, focuses. "You tried to kill me," I say. "I tried to remove a variable," she corrects. "You surviving was inefficient." The man exhales sharply, uncomfortable now, shifting his weight. This is not the conversation he expected. This is not the version of her he thought he was marrying. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. "You are transferring everything through this marriage," I continue. "Cleaning it, locking it across jurisdictions." "Yes," she says simply. No denial. No hesitation. Once it is complete, there is no way to reverse it without destroying the entire structure. And no one here wants that. "And me?" I ask. She looks at me for a long moment, then answers with the same cold clarity. "You become irrelevant." The word hangs there, heavy and absolute. The caregiver shifts slightly behind me, silent, but I can feel her attention sharpen. She hears it too. The confirmation. The final piece. "You made one mistake," I say. Her expression flickers, just slightly. "Did I?" she asks. "You left me alive," I say. For the first time, something changes in her eyes. Not fear. Not yet. But awareness. A recalculation. She studies me more carefully now, as if reassessing the threat she thought she eliminated. "You cannot even stand," she says. I let the silence stretch, then answer quietly. "Not yet." The man scoffs, shaking his head. "This is pointless," he says. "The ceremony starts in minutes. We are done here." But she does not move. She keeps her eyes on me, searching for something she cannot quite define. "You always believed in control," she says slowly. "But control is an illusion. The system decides who survives." I allow myself the faintest hint of a smile. Not warm, not forgiving, just sharp enough to cut. "Then we will see whose system this really is," I reply. She straightens slightly, the moment passing, her composure snapping back into place. "It does not matter," she says. "By the time this ends, everything will be signed, sealed, and irreversible." She turns, dismissing me again, already moving toward the door. "Take him back," she adds without looking. "Make sure he is presentable. We still need the image." The caregiver does not move immediately. Neither do I. I watch her hand rest briefly on the door handle, the symbol of everything she believes she already owns. Then she pauses, just for a second, and speaks without turning around. "You should have stayed broken," she says. The door opens. Light floods in. The sound of music swells. And she walks out to get married. The silence she leaves behind feels different now. Not empty. Charged. The caregiver steps forward, her voice low, controlled. "She confirmed everything," she says. I nod once. Slowly. Deliberately. "Yes," I reply. Outside, the music rises higher. Guests take their seats. The ceremony is about to begin. I look down at my hands, then back toward the door, where everything is about to unfold exactly as she planned. "They think this ends today," I say quietly. The caregiver meets my gaze. I hold it for a moment, then speak with absolute certainty. Then we make sure it does. The music begins exactly on time. Soft at first, then swelling just enough to guide every eye toward the aisle. Guests rise in unison, their movements synchronized like they rehearsed this moment, like this entire night was never meant to fail. I sit where they place me, perfectly positioned to witness everything, to validate everything, to silently approve my own erasure. The caregiver stands behind me, still invisible, but I can feel the tension in her posture. Every second now matters. Every second is a step closer to the point of no return. The groom takes his place at the altar, confident again, his earlier discomfort buried beneath the weight of expectation and power. He adjusts his cufflinks, glances at the guests, then toward the entrance, waiting for her. Always waiting for her. The irony almost makes me smile. Then she appears. The doors open slowly, deliberately, revealing her framed in light, dressed in white that catches every reflection, every glance, every ounce of attention in the room. She walks down the aisle like she owns not just this moment, but everything that comes after it. Her expression is flawless. Calm, radiant, untouchable. No one here sees what I see. No one here knows what she has done. The ceremony begins. Words about union, trust, permanence. Carefully chosen language designed to mirror exactly what this event really is. A merger, a consolidation, a locking of assets that will become impossible to undo once the final words are spoken. I watch her lips move, forming promises she does not believe, binding agreements she fully intends to enforce. Behind me, the caregiver shifts slightly. That is the signal. Everything is ready. The system is primed. The data is loaded. All that remains is timing. The officiant gestures for the rings. The moment tightens. This is it. The final step. Once those rings are exchanged, the legal structure completes. The transfer becomes permanent, irreversible. The groom takes the ring first, his hand steady, his smile confident. He looks at her like she is the prize, not realizing he is just another piece in her design. She extends her hand, perfect, still ready. "Before you say yes," I say. My voice cuts through the ceremony like a fracture through glass. It is not loud, but it does not need to be. Every head turns. Every movement stops. The officiant freezes mid-sentence. The groom's hand hesitates. She looks at me slowly. "What are you doing?" she asks, her voice low, controlled, but I hear it now. The edge beneath it. I grip the armrests of my chair, feeling the familiar weakness in my legs, the resistance, the memory of pain. For a fraction of a second, doubt flickers. Then I push. The world narrows. My legs tremble violently, every muscle protesting, every nerve screaming, but they respond. Slowly, unsteadily. I rise, not smoothly, not gracefully, but undeniably. A ripple moves through the crowd. Shock, confusion, something closer to fear. I take one step forward. The silence becomes absolute. You wanted a perfect ceremony, I say, my voice steady now, stronger with every word. Let me give them the truth first. The screens around the pavilion flicker to life. Not decorative visuals. Not curated memories. Data. Raw. Relentless. Account numbers appear. Offshore transfers. Shell companies linked across continents. Contracts hidden beneath ceremonial language. My name, forged into documents I never signed. Her authorization codes embedded in every transaction. Gasps break through the silence. Conversations erupt, chaotic, disbelieving. Guests reach for their phones, some stepping back, others frozen in place as the reality unfolds in front of them. The groom turns to her, his expression collapsing from confidence to disbelief. "What is this?" he demands. She does not answer him. She is staring at me. I step forward again, steadier now, each movement carving something new into the space between us. "This is what you built," I say. "Not a marriage. A laundering system. A network designed to erase identities and rewrite ownership." The screens shift again, isolating specific transactions, highlighting names, faces, connections. Every person in this room begins to understand exactly why they were invited. Not as guests, as participants. This ceremony, I continue, was never about love. It was about control. About transferring everything I built into a structure that makes it untouchable. Her composure cracks, just slightly, but enough. "Shut it down," she snaps, her voice sharp now exposed. No one moves. The system no longer answers to her. I look at her, not with anger, not with pain, but with something far colder. "You used my name," I say. "You used my life. Now you can stand in front of everyone and own what you did." And then the final layer appears. The broadcast indicator. Live. Not just to this room. Not just to this island. Everywhere. The panic explodes. Guests try to leave. Some argue. Some shout. The illusion collapses completely, leaving nothing but truth and consequences. Outside, the sound cuts through everything. Sirens. Multiple. Closing in fast. She looks at me again, her voice barely controlled now. "You were supposed to be dead," she says. I meet her gaze without hesitation. "You should have made sure," I reply. The doors burst open. Officers move in, precise, coordinated, already in control before anyone can react. Commands are issued. Hands are raised. The ceremony dissolves into something else entirely. The ring is still in her hand when they reach her. The moment freezes. And just like that, the wedding becomes a crime scene. The sirens do not stop when they reach the island. They multiply, echoing across the water, cutting through the last fragments of music, through the whispers, through the collapsing illusion of control. Red and blue lights flood the edges of the resort, turning white silk and crystal into something harsh and exposed. Inside the pavilion, no one is pretending anymore. Power has shifted, and everyone can feel it. Officers move with quiet efficiency, separating guests, securing exits, isolating the people who matter. The screens continue to display everything, every transaction, every name, every hidden connection dragged into the open. There is no escape from it now. Not legally. Not publicly. She stands in the center of it all. The dress still perfect. The image still intact. But the reality completely shattered. The ring remains in her hand, suspended between what was supposed to be and what now is. For a moment, she says nothing. Then she exhales slowly, her composure returning just enough to face it. "This does not end here," she says, her voice low, controlled. I take another step forward, steady now, grounded in something I thought I had lost forever. "It already did," I reply. An officer steps in front of her, reading the charges with precise clarity. Financial fraud, identity laundering, conspiracy across multiple jurisdictions. Each word lands heavier than the last. She does not resist when they take her wrists. She does not look away either. Her eyes stay locked on mine, searching for something she will not find. "You could have had everything," she says quietly. I hold her gaze unshaken. "I already did," I answer. They lead her away through the same aisle she walked moments ago as a bride. Now it is something else entirely. A path not toward a future, but toward consequences. The guests watch in silence, no longer participants, no longer allies, just witnesses to the collapse of something they believed was untouchable. The groom tries to speak, tries to reclaim something, but no one listens. He fades into the background, irrelevant, just another man who misunderstood the game he stepped into. The pavilion empties slowly after that. Conversations are hushed, movements cautious. Everyone recalculating their place in a world that just shifted in front of them. The island, once a stage for perfection, becomes nothing more than a location tied to evidence. I stand alone at the end of the aisle, the ocean stretching out in front of me, endless and indifferent. My legs still tremble, still uncertain, but they hold. That is enough. More than enough. Behind me, I hear her voice. The caregiver. Calm, steady, unchanged by everything that just happened. You were not supposed to stand yet, she says. I let out a slow breath, feeling the weight of the moment settle into something quieter. Neither was I supposed to exist anymore, I reply. She steps beside me, not in front, not behind. Equal. Present. I look back once at the empty space where the ceremony was meant to end, and I understand something clearly. They did not just try to take my wealth. They tried to erase my existence. And they failed. So let me ask you this. If someone tried to rewrite your life without you, would you let them finish the story? Or would you stand up, no matter how broken you were, and take it back? If there is one truth this night proved, it is this. You can be betrayed, broken, and pushed to the edge of erasure. But as long as you still breathe, the story is not over. They planned every detail, controlled every variable, and still failed to account for one thing. The moment you decide not to disappear. Power is not about never falling. It is about rising when they are certain you cannot. If this story kept you on edge, hit like and subscribe so you do not miss the next one. And I want to hear from you. If you were in my place, would you have exposed everything at the altar, or walked away and started over? Drop your answer in the comments.